Hey everyone, welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss a new update on Halloween Ends as we hear an awesome message from Jamie Lee Curtis directly from her Instagram account. Plus, we're going to look back at another message from Jamie last October and how it might prepare us for what is to come in Halloween Ends. Let's go. So today, Cinema Blend posted an article that features Jamie Lee Curtis and her recent Instagram post where she reached out to all of her fans. The headline states, "Halloween Ends, Jamie Lee Curtis thanks horror fans for decades of support in sweet post." Jamie Lee Curtis is back as Laurie Strode for Halloween Ends. Now what follows next is this. Jamie Lee Curtis is one of the most iconic scream queens in history, originally creating her character, Laurie Strode, in John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween. She's returned to the role a number of times throughout her wildly successful career, including David Gordon Green's current trilogy. Fans can't wait to see her take on Michael Myers in Halloween Ends, with Curtis reflecting on her time as Laurie. Now, in the article, they include Jamie Lee Curtis's Instagram post, and so I went ahead and pulled it directly from her Instagram to share it with you here as well. So in her Instagram post, Jamie says the following: "I woke up early this morning and realized I've been inhabiting Laurie Strode for 44 years. Her dreams became mine, her nightmares too. Throughout it all, a profound sense of gratitude to the fans that have kept her relevant and gave me employment for such a long time. And I'm so blanking excited by this new movie we are making." So here we see that Jamie Lee Curtis woke up in the morning and had this kind of self-revelatory moment of reflection. And it hit her that she's been in this, this character of Laurie Strode for 44 years. I mean, that is an amazing accomplishment. And she has literally appeared, think about this, in a Halloween movie every decade since the franchise began in 1978. I mean, that is unheard of and likely never to be repeated by another final girl ever in horror. It would shock me. I mean, Neve Campbell is doing her best to follow in Jamie's footsteps as she's appeared in a Scream film in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and now the 2020s. So she's hitting one every decade as well, but it will need to continue into the 2030s. And it just doesn't seem likely at this point that that's going to happen, but she's done a great job as well. But anyway, back to Jamie Lee Curtis. I can really relate to what she is expressing in this Instagram post because there have been times where I, as a fan of the Halloween franchise, have sat back and have thought about that very same thing. I mean, it's truly incredible that she has embodied the character of Laurie Strode for 44 years and has done it so masterfully. Now, I am also happy to see that she is genuinely excited to return in Halloween Ends. Now, I don't know how it is for you, but when I see her say, how excited she is to be making this movie, I cannot help but feel that excitement as well. I really do. When I think of this being what is most likely Jamie Lee Curtis's final Halloween film, for real this time, I mean, we've seen her before where we think that's going to be it, but really this time, I do believe it is for real going to be her last one. And it gives me this feeling of a combined mixture of a little bit of sadness, a lot of excitement, and finish it off with some hyper anticipation. If you mix all that together, that is really kind of what I'm feeling right now about this movie coming out in October. And remember, again, there's a 4-year time leap for Halloween Ends. So unlike Halloween Kills, which picked up on the same night of the events in Halloween 2018. Ends will begin 4 years later, so I'm hoping that we see not only a physically healthy Laurie Strode, but also a version of herself that's the most determined and mission-focused on killing Michael than we've ever seen before. I mean, we've seen her be hunted by Michael. We've seen her even go off the grid and isolate herself in hopes of never being found by him in 2018. But now I am ready to see the version of Laurie Strode that is the hunter. She is assuming the role of an apex predator to the point that Michael Myers himself will regret ever killing Laurie's daughter Karen, just ever. And now I know that in David Gordon Green's trilogy, Michael was never going after Laurie. He's changed that. But instead of, just wanting to go home, which is what he's after now. But the fact of the matter is, even with that being the case, Laurie has a ton of things to settle up with Michael Myers, including killing her daughter in Halloween Kills. Now, before I wrap up, I do want to remind you of an interview that Jamie Lee Curtis gave back on the NME website in October of 2021. Now, the headline of the article was, "Halloween Ends will, quote, make people angry," end quote, says Jamie Lee Curtis. And in this article, we get this very interesting quote from Jamie. She said, "So there's one more film to make, and I know what it's about, and it's going to blow people's minds open. It's going to make people very angry, and it's going to be shocking because it asks a lot of questions. So that's all I can tell you." So ever since this article came out last October, it has always been at the back of my mind. I mean, it's one of those things that is a bit unsettling, and no matter what the marketing and promotion will be for Halloween Ends, I will not be able to get this quote from Jamie out of my mind. Now, what exactly does she mean when she says it's going to make people very angry? Now, could that mean that Michael kills Laurie and perhaps it's her granddaughter Allison that will be the one who ultimately destroys Michael? I mean, that's a possibility. But the fact that she says it's going to make people very angry really bothers me. I don't like that, because that could go a lot of places. And then she goes on to say that it's going to be shocking because it asks a lot of questions. Now, again, this is so ambiguous, and we have no way of knowing really what she means other than just to take it literally at face value right now. So what kind of questions would we find shocking? Perhaps it's asking questions about the origin of what makes Michael more than a human. Laurie revealed in Kills that the more he kills people, the stronger he becomes. So we have already had that told to us now. So maybe they're going to get more specific into what his supernatural power is or where it came from. Now, remember, they tried this once way back with the Thorn trilogy, so I'm not a big fan of explaining what it is that makes him who he is, because he's the boogeyman. And to me, that's good enough. I don't need to know what makes him the boogeyman. I just need to know that he is, and that mystery's okay. But I don't know. They may start to explain that, and that may shock people. It's a possibility. So where does it all leave us with regards to Halloween Ends? Well, right now, here at the end of January, literally the last day of January of 2022, we all really still have more questions than answers because it's so early and filming just started. I will say, though, that I have high hopes for this final film in the trilogy, and I am really pumped to see what David Gordon Green has in store to end this story. So my fingers and toes are crossed for a phenomenal finale of this trilogy, guys. Oh, I hope we see that. So lots more information will be making its way out over the coming months, and I will be covering it all for you right here on the channel. So be sure you subscribe and stay tuned, because this is just getting started. This Halloween Ends train is just getting on the tracks. All right, everyone. I want to know what you think about this Halloween Ends update. Can't talk today. Are you excited or nervous or both to see this trilogy coming out? How do you think it's going to end? I just want to hear what your thoughts are, your theories and opinions about what you expect to see in Halloween Ends. How do you think the story is going to unfold? That's what I want to know. So start leaving your comments below right now so we can discuss it together. Well, that is it for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Halloween and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.